Feilu Novel Network A.Level Contracted Novel. The strongest pupil technique of Hokage, Chuanye traveled through and arrived at the familiar world of Hokage.Kawagoe, who became an orphan of war, has no tail beasts, no bloodline boundaries, and no family lineage. Even chakra extraction can only wait for the ninja school to teach, let alone the source of ninjutsu, and the future is dark.Ding. The host successfully extracted chakra and activated the strongest pupillary surgery system. Unlike ninjutsu, hallucination, and physical techniques, a self-contained pupil surgery system can even include blood vessel pupil surgery. Target, the strongest in the ninja world, no one. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. The Strongest Pupil Surgery System. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Muirin Village. In the small house, a 7 or 8-year-old boy sat cross-legged. The little boy's name is Chuanye. Of course, this is his lifelong name, while in his previous life, he was an ordinary young man from China who loved anime. The Naruto anime is very familiar to Kawagoe, who has watched it over 10 times. He once envied the various abilities of the ninjas in it, including ninjutsu, illusion, body magic, and powerful magic. Unexpectedly, one day when he woke up, he traveled to the world of Naruto. I don't know if I was sleeping in my past life, but some kind of accident happened. Maybe I passed away after I died. Anyway, it's okay. In my previous life, Kawagoe was an orphan and had no other worries. If I had to say anything, I couldn't finish watching the new series I was chasing. Perhaps by coincidence, in this lifetime, Kawagoe was also an orphan, and regardless of the world, the living conditions of orphans would not be very good. The only fortunate thing is that Kawagoe's parents, who were ninjas of Kiba, sacrificed themselves in the war. Although not of great merit, with this surplus, Kiba still provided basic living support for Kawaba. If Kawagoe were really an ordinary 7-year-old child, in this world, there would definitely be psychological problems, but Kawagoe is different. Not to mention his mature mind, it is his understanding of the Hokage world in memory. He is a much stronger orphan than other war orphans. Moreover, Chuanye didn't have the heart to worry about these things. Not to mention that Chuanye already has a ninja heart, he just thinks about the wars that happen in the world of Hokage every moment. In this world, ordinary people cannot even be considered cannon fodder, while ninjas, even at the shadow level or even super shadow level, are not necessarily safe. They can read a wave of the world's indistinguishable AoE endlessly every month, and no matter how strong their strength is, they will still be weak. However, at present, all of these are a bit far from Kawagoe. The most important thing for Kawagoe now is to condense chakra, which is the first and most important step to becoming a ninja. After watching the Hokage anime more than 10 times, Kawagoe is also very familiar with chakra. Chakra is a power extracted from the combination of spiritual energy and Raoshin energy. Of course, knowing only this is not enough. The key is how to fuse the two energies and extract chakras. And at the age of 7, Kawagoe officially entered the ninja school. After a period of physical training, he finally learned the method to extract chakras today. If in this lifetime, Kawagoe's parents are still alive, not to mention compared to such a prestigious family, there are no advanced ninjutsu secrets, at least basic ninjutsu doesn't need to worry. But now, even the method of extracting chakras has to wait for the ninja school to distribute them. Anyway, finally on this day, Chuanye set aside all distractions and devoted all her thoughts to refining the chakra. Half an evening had passed and chakra had not yet been refined, but Chuanye was not discouraged and even mentally prepared to persist for many days to succeed. Generally, if you start refining chakras and succeed within a few days, it can be considered a genius. The first step is always difficult, but if you step over it, it will naturally be a vast expanse of the ocean and sky. However, Just as Kawagoe was planning to give up today and rest to recover his strength for tomorrow's ninja school training, he felt a weak energy surge in his body. Although very weak, it does exist. In an instant, Kawagoe opened his eyes and jumped up from the ground. After slightly suppressing the excitement, I carefully felt it again. It's not an illusion, this energy does exist. This is chakra. Kawagoe smiled and finally met the basic requirements of a ninja, chakra. The excitement had not yet dissipated when a voice suddenly rang out in Chuanye's mind. Ding! The host successfully extracted chakra and activated the strongest pupillary surgery system. Detected host information. Age: 7 years old, ninja level. Prepare to endure basic attributes of chakra. Thunder, wind, water, fire, earth. Blood relay limit. None. Pupiloplasty. None. Task system started, generating tasks. Novice welfare distribution. Chuanye was stunned for a moment, then his face showed surprise. I originally thought that being familiar with the plot development of the Hokage world was his only advantage, but it turned out that he still had golden fingers, only slightly late. Chapter 2. D.Grade Pupillary Surgery. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Newcomer benefits, pupil surgery. Guidance technique. Guidance technique. Pupillary surgery ninjutsu level. D.level trigger condition. Eye contact pupil surgery effect. Suggestive guidance, based on each other's spiritual energy and mental state, to a certain extent, changes the target's feelings of likes and dislikes towards oneself. Special reminder. Pupil surgery is independent of ninjutsu, hallucination, and physical techniques, forming its own system that is difficult to detect defense. However, when there is a significant difference in strength between them, there is a possibility of being detected and backfired suddenly. A piece of information appeared in Chuanye's mind, which was the newbie benefit provided by the system, a D.level pupil surgery called guidance technique. This is equivalent to being directly imprinted on Chuanye's body, as if he has experienced countless exercises and has become familiar with and mastered a pupil technique. In the world of Hokage, when watching anime, one can find that although pupil art may seem to show off its power, it is actually very rare. Almost only the blood inheritance boundaries of the Uchiha and Hinata families possess this powerful pupil art. The strongest pupil surgery system is to form a system of pupil surgery, which is not inferior to ninjutsu, hallucination, and physical surgery. This guidance technique may seem like a D.level technique, but it should be noted that the 3 body techniques that ninja schools need to master, including clone, stunt, and transformation, are all just D.level ninja techniques. Familiar with mastering the 3 body technique, with relatively sufficient chakra support, after exercises and applications, possessing relatively mature combat abilities, and recognized by the school, one can graduate from the ninja school, obtain the wood leaf protector, and officially become a ninja. And it wasn't until he became a ninja that he had the opportunity to encounter D.level ninjutsu. Being able to become familiar with and control D.level ninjutsu is already considered a relatively elite ninjutsu. Chuanye is well aware that the top 12 Konoha ninjutsu players in Hokage anime only mastered C.level ninjutsu during their ninja exams. Even if it is a secret technique inherited by the family, when I first became a ninja, I only mastered D.level ninja. Of course, there are exceptions to certain geniuses, such as Kakashi and Yukabo Itachi, which are all exceptions. Therefore, having a D.grade pupil surgery now, Kawagoe is already very satisfied. Even if Kawagoe feels that his chakra can only be used once, but that is enough. This pupillary technique doesn't seem to be the kind of combat ninjutsu. Kawagoe felt carefully again, feeling a little enlightened in his heart. It cannot be said that using this pupil technique has no effect during battles, but the effect is definitely not significant. To forcefully reverse the likes and dislikes of others, it requires a strong spirit and a large amount of chakra support. If it is one's own likes and dislikes, a small range of adjustment seems more suitable for the situation in front of Kawagoe. From this perspective, this pupil technique is not only a beginner's benefit, but may also be related to upcoming tasks, Chuanye speculated. Almost as soon as Chuanye had this idea, the familiar sound of the system came to his mind. Task generation, formal distribution. Main task. Become the strongest in the ninja world. Side quests. Become a ninja. Side task 1. To graduate from ninja school, one must have physical fitness, chakra skills, and practical experience. Mastering the three-body technique proficiently is one of the foundations. Task deadline. 24 hours. Task reward. Enhance the guidance technique and generate unlock side quests too. Surprisingly, he only had 24 hours to learn the method of extracting chakras today. Even if he had already extracted chakras, he had to report to the teacher the next day to obtain the usage and seal of the three-body technique. The drawbacks of being an orphan are undoubtedly maximized at this time. Even the most basic E.level ninjutsu must be followed step by step, waiting for patience to be obtained. At the moment when the side quests were generated, the countdown had already begun, which directly resulted in Kawagoe's time for learning the three-body technique being even shorter than the time limit given by the task. Chuanye couldn't help but run to school now to see if he could find the teacher to demand the three-body technique. Fortunately, in the end, Chuanye managed to suppress this impulse rationally. The system will not be aimless. Since such a task is given, it represents a possibility for me to complete it. Most people cannot successfully refine chakras for the first time in less than half an evening, so my situation should be different from that of a normal ninja. Chuanye's eyes lit up, and he showed a lot of confidence. It seems that in terms of ninjas, he is also a genius, and not an ordinary genius. Chapter 3. Using Pupiloscopy. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next day, just as the sky broke, Kawagoe arrived at the ninja school. Ishihara was an excellent ninja. After the war, he survived and voluntarily applied to become a school teacher. At the time of Chuanye, Ishihara already had rich teaching experience and a better understanding of the importance of steady and solid foundation. Therefore, even though Kawagoe's quick extraction of chakras surprised Ishihara, he still did not agree with the idea of immediately learning the three-body technique. After careful consideration, Ishihara said in a gentle tone as much as possible, "Chuanye, it's really good that you can extract chakras so quickly. As a ninja, you should avoid impatience the most. The most important thing for you now is to stabilize your foundation, first lay a solid foundation, and extract sufficient chakras." Speaking of which, Ishihara also felt that such a direct refusal would hurt the students' hearts and may even undermine Kawabata's enthusiasm, adding another sentence. "You don't have to worry. After a while, when your physique improves and your chakra is sufficient, I will naturally teach you the three-body technique." In fact, when Ishihara Kangchi first said a refusal, Kawagoe had already lowered his head and was brewing something. If it were just an ordinary student, it would be possible to follow what Ishihara said, and not just learn the three-body technique a few days later. Exercising one's physique and refining chakras would also be practicing. However, Kawabata has a task deadline. Although it is only a branch of the branch line and there is no punishment for failure, it is impossible for Kawabata to do nothing and watch the rewards flow away. Even if you take any more risks, you'll have to give it a try. Kawagoe realized that the D.level pupil guidance technique that beginner welfare received was not without reason. Originally, Chuanye was a good child in the class, with excellent performance during training, enduring hardship and disturbance without any complaints, and was already a type of student that the teacher liked. Now, refining the chakra within a day is a sign of success. Lastly, Kawagoe is a war orphan, and Ishihara's father also died during a mission. As for the friends who died during the war, there are even more. That's why Ishihara applied to become a school teacher after the war ended. On the one hand, looking at his children can calm him down, and on the other hand, he also hopes to teach them well, so that they can have enough self-protection ability in their future tasks. Undoubtedly, Ishihara's strength, even if not among the elite ninja, would not be much inferior, with a huge gap compared to Kawagoe. Guided surgery is like pupil surgery, which is equivalent to mental health, and can achieve remarkable results even without any precautions by Ishihara. When Kawagoe finished speaking, he immediately looked up at Ishihara with a stubborn expression. Ishihara looked at Kawabata's determined gaze, his expression somewhat dazed, as if seeing his youthful self, equally stubborn and unwilling to give up. As Kawabata's face gradually turned white, Ishihara's heart softened upon seeing it. Finally, he sighed and said, "Okay, since you're so persistent, I'll teach you the three-body technique first. But remember, don't force yourself." Upon hearing this, Chuanye smiled slightly and stopped using the pupil technique. The chakra, which was originally only a little, had already been depleted. The key is the mental exhaustion that made Chuanye look like this, and her eyes are even more sore, like staring wide all day without blinking to rest. Fortunately, the goal was finally achieved, and it was just a small appeal to teacher Xiaoqiang. Indeed, he was too weak. Watching Ishihara's movements carefully, listening to the explanation, not missing a single detail, and after all three body techniques were practiced, Kawagoe quickly thanked him, "Thank you, Teacher Ishihara. I will definitely remember the teacher's advice and not act recklessly." "I hope so," Ishihara nodded. It wasn't until Chuanye left that Ishihara was in a daze. He actually taught the three-body technique to a child who had only refined chakra on the first day. This is simply contrary to his philosophy of laying a solid foundation and following a gradual approach, even if he really likes that student. But after teaching everything, we can't just call Chuanye back and prohibit him from practicing. Ishihara Kanji couldn't do such a thing either. In the end, he patted his forehead in frustration. His mind was really numb just now. Chapter 4. Kiba 12 Xiaoqiang. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In the classroom, Chuanye rushed to restore chakra. At this moment, there were only a few scattered children who didn't work as hard as Kawaba, but sat together chatting and playing. In fact, this is the performance that this age should have, while other hard-working children usually study at home and only feel at school when it's time for classes. If it weren't for learning the three-body technique from teacher Ishihara, Chuanye wouldn't have come early. The home environment is quieter and more suitable for cultivation. Chuanye quickly recovered, mainly due to the lack of chakras, so the recovery time was so short, which can be considered the only advantage. To Chuanye's surprise, chakra grew a bit more, almost half of its original size. Is it more suitable for him to refine chakra steadily, rather than gradually refining it and improving it through practical combat? Chuanye closed her eyes and pondered, not pretending to be deep, but rather her eyelids were too heavy and her eyes were sore and unbearable. Chakra has recovered, both physically and mentally exhausted, and has improved significantly. Only this eye hasn't changed much. It's because he used pupil surgery, and for him currently, D.grade pupil surgery is still too difficult. However, since it is a beginner's benefit, the early mention of guidance technique enhancement in the side quests indicates that this is a pupil technique that he can quickly master proficiently. Chuanye didn't blame anyone, took a break, and only opened his eyes during class. I don't know if it's because of this little rest time or because I've become accustomed to the pain, but Chuanye feels that his eyes are not so unbearable, even though they still ache. Today's class is focused on refining chakras in the morning and physical training in the afternoon. Kawagoe had an idea for this. When Ishihara came into the classroom, Kawagoe stood up and said, "Teacher Ishihara, I hope to practice alone this morning." The students in the class were all taken aback for a moment, and Xiaoqiang frowned slightly and asked, "Why?" "Teacher, you know, I have successfully extracted chakras, and practicing them alone would have a better effect. Moreover, if I stay in class, it will also affect other students," said Kawaba confidently. The students in the class were all surprised. They didn't expect that Chuanye had already extracted the chakra. Many of them were still ignorant and couldn't grasp the importance. Ishihara had already known about it before, and in fact, when he first found out, he was also slightly surprised. At this moment, thinking about what Chuanye said, Ishihara Kanji also felt that it was not without reason. If it is all students who extract chakras, then the impact is not significant. On the contrary, extracting and restoring chakras in various environments is necessary for learning. But now that Chuanye has just refined the chakra, there's no need to worry. It's not wrong to increase the amount of chakra first. And as Kawagoe said, there are almost all children in the class who have not yet extracted chakras, and Kawagoe's presence here will indeed affect them. In fact, after extracting chakras, one can go to another classroom where other children can practice chakras and even ninjutsu. It should have been a few days before the first child in their class would come over, but I didn't expect it to be so fast. After thinking for a moment, Ishihara told Kawagoe about the classroom and said, "You can go there in the morning first. Don't worry about others, focus on your practice, and come back here in the afternoon." "I know, Teacher Ishihara," said Kawagoe, and then got up to go to the classroom. As Ishihara said, this classroom is reserved for outstanding students in the class, and some students will always exceed the learning progress. This needs to be carried out separately, otherwise both parties will be affected. When Chuanye arrived at this classroom, there were actually several people inside, and among them, 3 caught Chuanye's attention. A little boy with long black hair and white pupils, practicing boxing. A little boy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, constantly doing push-ups. The last one is a little girl with 2 balls and a unique hairstyle in the world of ninjas. Xiaoqiang Ningxi, Locke, every day. Chuanye knew the names of these 3 people in an instant, and was one of the future top 12 Kiba players. Chapter 5. Hidden Tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I have long known that Jiuwei was ravaging and my village was destroyed. This kind of big event cannot be completely covered up, only the details can be hidden. It was precisely because he knew the period he was in that Kawagoe felt urgent. The 4th Ninja War was sweeping across the world, and no one was spared. Before the 4th Ninja War, Kiba village also faced attacks from the Orochimaru and Akira organizations, which will be encountered in the future. And when he saw the 3 people of Higashi Nishiki, Locke, and Tian, it made Kawagoe understand the urgency of time. Fortunately, there are still several years left, and the closest major event should be the Uchiha Rebellion. According to Kawagoe's understanding of the Hokage plot, this major event is expected to occur in just 1 or 2 years at most. Fortunately, this incident was only the massacre of the Uchiha family and did not involve too many people. As long as Chuanye does not die, there is no possibility of encountering danger. Chuanye shook his head and didn't think about it. Instead, he turned his gaze back to the 3 of them, Xiaoqiang, Locke, and Tian. These 3 are currently only 8 years old, but they are already outstanding at ninja school, and Ning Ci is the top student in the school, which is likely to graduate early. Unlike the Naruto and Sasuke generations, the top 12 of the Kiba clan gathered 9 people, just like Sasuke. In the early stages, they were not able to stay too far behind the others in terms of strength. At this moment, the arrival of Kawagoe also caught the attention of everyone in the classroom, even Hinata Niji glanced at her and did not stop training. At this moment, Locke's hand propped up and he jumped into the air. After rolling a few laps, he fell in front of Chuanye and enthusiastically extended his hand. "There's a newcomer coming again. Hello, my name is Locke. Welcome to join us." Everyone else watched this scene and ignored it. In this place, everyone was actually strangers from different classes, and it was only Locke who was so enthusiastic when we first met. Chuanye looked at Locke. At this moment, in the eyes of others, Locke was actually a genius. After all, he had completed the chakra extraction early and possessed strong physical skills. Of course, the results in ninjutsu and hallucination are very poor, but it will take at least 1 or 2 years for anyone to question them. It was at that time that Locke truly sublimated and became a terrifying genius in physical arts, bursting with infinite youthful efforts. As for now, Locke is also working hard, but at least he is much stronger than ordinary people, rather than to an outrageous extent. Hello, my name is Chuanye. Chuanye held Locke's hand. Although his appearance is not very good, he has a great fondness for Locke and Chuanye, who are still one of his favorite anime characters to this day. When Locke saw Chuanye's movements, his smile became even stronger. Others here ignored him and even vaguely felt rejection. The Chuanye classmate in front of him gave him a completely different feeling, with an impulse to pull him to practice together. Of course, Locke refrained from mentioning that he was not good at ninjutsu and hallucination, so his training was mainly focused on physical skills, which was not suitable for everyone. Chuanye naturally also engages in physical exercises, but the most important thing now is to learn the three-body technique. Therefore, after talking to Locke, he went to the corner alone. At present, his cuteness is completely new to others, so it's better to keep a low profile as much as possible. After arriving at the corner, Kawagoe did not immediately practice, but closed his eyes to recall the technique and explanation of Ishihara quo before. After careful consideration, Chuanye began to practice, starting with the technique of clone, which is actually one of the easier three-body techniques. For the first time using it, Chuanye did not feel too astringent and succeeded on the first attempt. This excited Kawagoe a bit, and indeed his talent in this area was not weak. The other two were also used, although not both were successful the first time, they were quickly mastered. After using all three body techniques, Chuanye felt that there were still about 70% of chakras left, thanks to the increase in chakra volume in the morning. Otherwise, there might only be less than half left, which could not support the reuse of the three body techniques. Chuanye closed his eyes and looked at the task, but it was not completed. After careful consideration, Chuanye understood. The task requires proficiency, but now he is only able to use it and his proficiency does not meet the system requirements. To master ninjutsu proficiently, practicing repeatedly is one method, but it takes a long time, and another approach is practical combat. Chuanye's eyes lit up, and there happened to be a suitable opponent in this classroom. Just as Chuanye's idea first came to mind, a familiar voice came from his mind. Ding! Trigger hidden task, please pay attention to the host's viewing. Chapter 6. Challenge Locke. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hidden task. Competitiveness. Competitive spirit explains that every strong person has a belligerent heart and desires victory. You, who want to become the strongest, are even more so. You yearn for battle, desire victory, and cannot accept failure. Because of your competitive spirit, you have the ability to become braver and grow rapidly in battle, and you are not afraid of any enemies. Hide the competitiveness of tasks and generate side quests. 1. Competitive Heart Branch Task 1. Defeat one of the top 12 players, Locke. Locke is one of the top 12 players in the future, even if he is very weak now, he is still an opponent that you cannot easily defeat now. Task Deadline. 72 hours. Task Reward. Preliminary Physical Enhancement, unlocking the second level of competitive side quests. Chuanye reviewed the task instructions again and understood what was going on in his heart. Indeed, every strong person has a fighting and competitive heart, and just now, when Kawagoe first met Hinata Nagatsuji, Locke, and Tian, in addition to a faint excitement, a wave of war also emerged secretly. Kiba 12 is a character with explosive combat power and cannot be judged based on their level of endurance. And when they became ninjas, they quickly stirred up the entire ninja world, deserving of being strong. It should be said that they belong to the new generation of protagonists in the ninja world, gathering most of their luck. Kawagoe hoped to fight against them and was even more eager to defeat them. However, after mastering the three-body technique, Kawagoe immediately had a desire to challenge himself, which was also the reason for his desire to win hidden missions. Kawagoe took a deep breath. Perhaps this was not a way of endurance, but it was also a belief that Kawagoe did not resist. At this moment, Chuanye walked up to Locke's exercise area and said in a firm tone, "Locke, I hope to fight with you. Are you trying to challenge me?" Locke paused for a moment and then grinned, "All right. Simple, direct, without asking why, I simply agreed to Chuanye's challenge." Upon seeing this, Chuanye was a bit surprised and quickly understood. This is Locke's personality. Although Locke is still very young and not the one who has been greatly influenced by Metki and regards youth as his catchphrase, there are also similar embryonic personalities now. "Please advise." Chuanye gestured and made a mark of opposition. On Xiao Li's side, he also posed well and lightly jumped in place, forming a mark of opposition. He nodded and said, "Please advise." And just as the two of them were positioning themselves for battle, the once struggling Tian had already walked up to Hinata Ningxi's side. Compared to the less familiar Hinata and Xiao Li at present, Tian has some familiarity with Hinata. After walking beside Hinata, Tian whispered directly, "Ningxi, how do you think that kid challenged Xiao Li?" Hinata Ningxi felt a bit aloof, but only remained silent for a moment before replying, "Locke's ninjutsu is not good. His three-body techniques are barely usable and cannot be used in combat, but his physical skills are very strong." Tian unexpectedly glanced at Hinata Ningxi more, thinking that Hinata Ningxi had some disdain for Locke. After all, Hinata Ningxi has excellent talent in ninjutsu, while in terms of physical skills, she is even better than Xiao Li. On weekdays, he also looks down on Locke, but now the comments repeatedly mention that he is very strong, indicating that Locke's physical skills are actually recognized by Hinata Nishiki. That Kawagoe doesn't seem strong, and in terms of physical skills, he's definitely not a match for Locke. It depends on whether he can take advantage of the advantages of ninjutsu, analyzed Nishi Hinata. When Chuanye and Locke introduced themselves before, Hinata Ningxi didn't pay much attention, but she also heard about it. The evaluation of the two people now is also very objective, not very clear, but I believe that the possibility of Locke winning is greater. Every day, I ask Hinata Noji, but I also have my own opinion, which is the same as Hinata Noji. Xiao Li's physical skills are very outstanding, almost covering up his shortcomings in not being able to use ninjutsu combat. Here, Hinata Ningxi is on top of Locke, and everyone else, including Tian, is actually weaker than Locke. In fact, others share the same view. They still cannot defeat Locke. A student who has just emerged from the class and can come to an independent classroom, how could they possibly defeat Locke? Perhaps at the beginning of the battle, Chuanye would quickly lose. Chapter 7. Clever Applications. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this point, both Chuanye and Locke had already ignored the others and only had eyes for each other. Locke took the lead in attacking, with a burst of his feet and an extraordinary speed. So fast. Everyone was amazed and even nodded to Ningxi every day, as if expressing approval. This explosive power is no less than that of a ninja, and Locke is only 8 years old now, and entering ninja school is only his second year. If Locke's opponent was not Kawagoe, but other ninja school students besides Higashi Nishimitsu and Tendai, they might not be able to react. But Chuanye's level of importance towards Locke exceeded everyone's expectations, and he had already overestimated Locke infinitely. Even in Chuanye's eyes, it is not too much to treat the current Locke as an elite and endure it. Even so, Chuanye couldn't see Locke's movements clearly, only feeling Locke's direction from the incoming waves. His hands quickly formed a seal, and almost at the moment when the seal was completed, Locke hit Chuanye and punched her out. It's over. I knew it would be fast, but I didn't expect it to be a flash sale. Locke is indeed very strong. Everyone was amazed that at this time, Locke was unable to use the shortcomings of ninjutsu and illusion, and had not yet fully exploded. In the eyes of most people, Locke was a genius in the ninja school, second only to Hinata Niji. Powerful physical skills and explosive combat power, in actual combat training classes, apart from Hinata Niji, no one is Locke's opponent. The defeat of Chuanye was taken for granted by everyone, but the flash sale was a bit hard to justify. Apart from Locke being very strong, Chuanye was also too weak. How could he dare to challenge Locke with such strength? Tian also shook his head and looked surprised, but next to him, Hinata Niji frowned slightly and looked at the other side. Bang! Originally kicked away and falling against the wall, Kawabata made a sound, and white smoke drifted out. The fallen Kawabata turned into a piece of wood. A stunt double. Every day, she exclaimed in amazement. Just now, she really thought that Chuanye had been instantly killed by Locke's punch. Only Hinata Nishimasa and Locke, who fought against Kawagoe, could tell the clues. Locke ignored the screams of the crowd and was more certain of the speculation he had made when he kicked Kawabata and saw it turn into wood. Locke twisted his feet, turned around and kicked sideways, directly hitting Chuanye who was hiding on the side. However, surprisingly, Locke's legs passed directly through Chuanye's body, and Chuanye's figure quickly twisted and blurred. The clone technique. Undoubtedly, what Locke saw was actually a clone of Chuanye. Unlike the shadow clone, the clone created by the clone technique was only a visual deception and had no physical substance. Once hit, it would quickly dissipate. At this moment, standing in the crowd with a surprised expression, a short man who was watching the battle rushed out and grabbed the gap in Locke's astonishment, as well as the moment when he couldn't stand still, and hit Locke. That's not Inoue. Why did he attack Locke? No, Inoue is very shy. It's impossible for him to do this, and he stood so close from the beginning, which is different from usual. The crowd exclaimed in surprise. Inoue had a shy personality and usually hid in a corner, avoiding too much contact with others. However, there were only so many people in the classroom here, so I also knew Inoue. The actions of Inoue now seemed too unusual to everyone, and this is also the reason why everything happened too suddenly and everyone's thoughts could not change. I'm here. The real Inoue immediately stood up when something unusual appeared, so as soon as everyone finished speaking, they heard the sound of Inoue behind them. This is the Inoue they know, which means that the sudden attack was actually Kawagoe. This is a transformation technique. The most basic three-body technique in ninja school, combined with each other, surprisingly has such a miraculous effect, which amazed everyone. They all practice casually and meet the standards, with most of their focus on chakra refinement and other ninja techniques. At this moment, Chuanye had already rushed to the side of Locke. Taking advantage of Locke's lack of balance, he immediately attacked. It was also at this moment that the transformation effect was unlocked, and Inoue's short appearance immediately changed back to Chuanye's original face. Since the deadline given for the task is 72 hours, it proves that within this time frame, Chuanye must have a chance to defeat Locke, and this possibility also exists now. Chapter 8. Mission rewards arrived, 3rd, Seeking Flowers. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Locke's eyes lit up, and Chuanye cleverly used the three-body technique to mislead him several times. This combat style left him amazed. Unfortunately, even if he reluctantly uses the three-body technique, it will take a relatively long time and cannot be used in combat at all. Surprised, Locke didn't save his hand. He immediately tilted his upper body and dodged Chuanye's punch. He also used his hands to support the ground and kicked his legs to hit Chuanye again. Bang! The white smoke rose, and the leaves of the river turned into a piece of wood again. Stand-in technique. On the side, even Hinata Niji couldn't help but admire Kawagoe's application in the three-body technique. Don't look at this battle, it's basically a physical combat. Ninjutsu is the most basic three-body technique, but for ninja students of their age, it's already very stunning. During the battle, Locke also showed a surprised expression again. With his strong physical ability, he had already responded twice in time to remedy the situation, but did not want to fall into the trap again. However, Locke also understood Chuanye's combat strategy and the differences in physical skills, which allowed Chuanye to only use this method to confront his enemies. At first, he could achieve remarkable results, but now he has understood and will not fall into the trap again. Therefore, upon seeing Chuanye appear from the side again, heading towards him, Locke forcefully changed direction and kicked over. However, halfway through, he kicked towards the other side in the direction he needed to, and as expected, another Kawagoe appeared there. "I've caught you." The first appearance of Chuanye was just a bait made by the clone technique. Even if Locke's body technique was strong, it was not to an outrageous extent. Several force changes had already exhausted Locke's stamina, and if it continued like this, he might really lose. But as long as he can hit Chuanye once, he should be able to determine the winner, and Locke is very certain of this. At this point, everyone else understood, but no longer underestimated Chuanye as before. Being able to fight like this with Locke was already quite good. Moreover, the combination and use of the three-body technique is truly stunning. I never expected that they would have looked up to it before, and their casually practiced three-body technique could actually achieve this level. However, it has come to an end, and the plan for the clone technique has been exposed. Leaving aside Chuanye's chakra, there may not be much left, and it may not be possible to use the three-body technique again. Even if Locke changed direction in a timely manner, it also left Chuanye with no reaction time. However, an unexpected situation occurred, and Locke's leg once again passed through Chuanye's body. "What, this is also a clone?" Locke exclaimed in surprise. "So, is the one that just appeared, Shinji Kawaba, or a clone?" Locke felt a bit regretful. Currently, he couldn't see too many flaws in his clone, and Chuanye handled it too well, not giving him a chance to target. At this moment, the first person to appear, Chuanye, had already rushed to Locke and took out Kuwu from his ninja bag. Taking advantage of Locke's lack of reaction, he pressed him to the ground, unable to resist his back. Locke was able to break free from Chuanye's uniform, but the pain was unbearable on his waist. If it were a real battle, he would have died. Therefore, Locke was also very straightforward and shouted with a smile, "I lost." Until then, Chuanye finally breathed a sigh of relief and relaxed completely. The consecutive use of the three-body technique just now has already consumed half of his chakras, and Chuanye is also using chakras when attacking. Otherwise, his reaction power and attack level would be several times weaker than now. Even if Locke's weaknesses were calculated, it would be difficult to accurately grasp them. Now, there isn't much chakra left on Chuanye's body, but he still won. Sure enough, even if the task is given a time limit of 72 hours, it does not mean that he needs to practice for dozens of hours to defeat Locke. Everything is possible within the time limit. And in the battle, the situation where passion reigned and bravery grew stronger, Chuanye immediately thought of it as a buff of competitiveness. Indeed, combat is the best way to improve. Originally, he only learned the three-body technique, but in the battle with Locke, he truly mastered it proficiently. More importantly, the defeated Locke is one of the future Kiba 12 powerhouses and one of the most powerful ninjas among them. This sense of satisfaction made Chuanye also show a brilliant smile and stand up with a seal of reconciliation. "Thank you for your guidance." "Thank you for your guidance." Locke also smiled and stamped the seal of reconciliation, which was also due to Locke's personality. Although he was not convinced by the loss, it did not affect his liking for Chuanye. Ding! It was not until then that Chuanye heard the sound in his mind. Competitive Edge Task 1 has been completed, and you have received the task reward. Chapter 9. 2 Rewards, 4th, Seeking Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hidden Task. Competitiveness. Competitive Heart Branch Task 1. Defeat one of the top 12 players, Locke. Completed, Task Reward. Preliminary Physical Enhancement, unlocking the second level of competitive side quests. Preliminary Physical Enhancement completed, unlocked Side Quest 2 Competitive Heart Branch Task 2. Defeat one of the top 12 players, Xiaoqiang Ninja. Hinata Nishimasa is one of the top 12 Konoha ninjas in the future, and even at a young age, he already possesses the strength close to that of an elite ninja. He is the top student in the ninja school. Task Deadline. 7 days. Task Reward. C.Level Pupil Technique, unlocking Challenge 3 of the Competitive Heart Branch. When Chuanye heard the system prompt, he immediately checked and received the task reward to defeat Locke. In an instant, Chuanye felt a leap in physical fitness, almost 3 times higher than before. It seems that he is very close to the current Locke. You should know that Locke is a physical and artistic genius with extraordinary efforts. Because of this, at the age of only 8, Locke had already possessed the strength of ordinary ninja in his second year of entering ninja school. And once Locke's passion comes to his head, the strength he unleashes may truly be at the elite level of endurance. As for Hinata Nishinji, he is already close to the elite Nishinobu and possesses the strongest blood inheritance limit of Kiba, White Eyes. Because of this, Hinata Ninji's strength always surpasses that of Locke, and he is also the strongest player in the future Kiba 12 small powerhouses, second only to the protagonist class. The current top 12 Konoha players have not actually entered their explosive period. They only start to soar after graduating from ninja school. At that time, their ninja level was no longer representative of their strength. Mission 2 of the Winning Heart Branch is to defeat Nishinji Hinata, the chief student of the ninja school. After this battle, Chuanye Chakra's strength has increased again, and his 3-body technique is proficiently mastered, almost becoming proficient. I estimate that with a little more practice, you will be able to complete the side task 1 of becoming a ninja, and you will receive new rewards at that time. Even so, the task deadline was still given to 7 days, which is enough to show that Hinata Ninja is definitely not an opponent he can defeat at the moment. It takes several days of cultivation and adjustment to have a chance. After all, Hinata Ninja is a well-rounded genius, and it is difficult for him to cleverly defeat him like Locke is now. Setting aside the lack of other ninjutsu techniques, I should already have similar strength to an average ninja by now, but it's still a bit difficult to defeat Hinata Ninja, Kawaba whispered to himself, suppressing the fighting spirit in his heart. As described by the system, Kawagoe is belligerent and dislikes failure. Now is not a good time to challenge Hinata Nishimasa. Not to mention just defeating Locke, although chakra volume has increased, that is the upper limit and he still needs time to recover. Even though it is currently at its peak, facing Hinata, the chances of winning will not exceed 20%, which is why Kawagoe has confidence in his own combat performance. I can't eat hot tofu in a hurry, so I'll hold on for now and wait until I receive the reward for the side quest 1 that will become the next ninja and the beast. So after thanking Locke, Chuanye returned to the corner to practice his 3-body technique. The difference is that in the past, few people paid attention to Kawagoe, but now he frequently attracts attention, which is the reason why Kawagoe's strength is recognized. Locke is widely recognized here as a person second only to Hinata Ninja. Even students who entered the school 1 or 2 years earlier than him have no confidence in defeating Locke, and in the eyes of others, Chuanye's ability to win Locke once is naturally one of the top figures. And those who originally had some disdain for Chuanye's practice of the 3-body technique also changed their minds. They secretly thought that no wonder Chuanye could use the 3-body technique to defeat Locke, which must be due to his diligent practice. Even Hinata Ninja and Locke believed in this until they learned that Kawagoe was actually a genius who learned the 3-body technique, and even Chakra had just been refined. It was only then that they were truly startled. Time rushed by in the morning, and Chuanye returned to her class to attend the afternoon physical training class. Because Chuanye had already extracted the chakra, Ishihara specially arranged Chuanye's training intensity to be twice as high as before, but the result surprised Ishihara because Chuanye completed a training intensity that was 5 times higher than before. This is also because, while Chuanye chakra rapidly improves, his physical fitness is also systematically strengthened. 5 times the training intensity in the past was the only way for Chuanye to feel an improvement effect, and as he gradually becomes stronger, this training intensity also needs to be continuously strengthened. At night, Kawagoe, who was feeling a bit tired, returned home and did not lie down to rest. Kawagoe, who was still energetic, continued practicing the 3-body technique. Finally, it was not in the upper state during the battle, and daily situations could be seamlessly connected, truly mastering the essence of the 3-body technique. At this moment, Kawagoe heard the sound of system prompts. Becoming a side quest for Nishin, reward in hand. Chapter 10. Perhaps this is a genius. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Side quests. Become a ninja. Side task 1. To graduate from ninja school, one must have physical fitness, chakra skills, and practical experience. Mastering the 3-body technique proficiently is one of the foundations. Completed, task deadline. 24 hours. Task reward. Enhance the guidance technique and generate unlock side quests 2. Guidance spell enhancement completed, ninjutsu level advanced, level C. Unlock side task 2. Side task 2. Master 3D.level ninjutsus and 1C.level ninjutsu. Task deadline. 10 days. Task reward. Initial enhancement of pupil power, generating unlock side quests 3. Chuanye breathed a deep sigh of relief and finally completed the task of becoming a sub-task for Xiaoqiang. If it weren't for the afternoon physical training class, which delayed a long time, he wouldn't have had to wait until evening to complete the task. Finally, there was no difference. The proficiency of the 3-body technique was just a little short of what he had imagined. After the enhancement of this guidance technique, it has advanced from D.level pupillary technique to C.level pupillary technique. Although strictly speaking, the strength of ninjutsu depends on the ninja itself, it cannot be denied that sometimes differences in ninjutsu levels can also lead to differences in combat effectiveness. I don't know if he can handle this C.level pupil surgery now. He has made rapid progress on chakra, so there should be no problem. The key is that pupil surgery can also be harmful to the eyes, and coincidentally, it is difficult for the eyes to exercise and strengthen like physical fitness. If the pupil technique is excessively used, it may lead to blindness, just like the result of the Uchiha family abusing the kaleidoscope Sharingan. The kaleidoscope Sharingan either involves transplanting the eyes of close relatives or possessing terrifying recovery cells like the first generation, otherwise there is no way. Chuanye once again looked towards task 2, which became a side quest for Nishinobu, and mentioned the initial strengthening of his pupils. Finally, he breathed a sigh of relief. If you guessed correctly, enhancing pupil strength is the key to solving this hidden danger and supporting his better use of pupil surgery. However, relying solely on the strengthening of the system is too passive in Kawagoe's view. He should look for ways to exercise his pupils in his daily life. However, there is currently no rush. In the coming time, Chuanye will honestly practice chakra, and it is crucial to first increase the chakra limit. Because whether it's ninjutsu, hallucination, physical therapy, or even pupillary surgery, all require the support of chakra. Even if you master the most powerful ninjutsu, without enough chakra support, you are just sitting on a treasure mountain and cannot use it. As the night grew deeper, Kawagoe, who felt similar, stopped practicing and lay down in bed to rest. Now, he still needs sufficient sleep to ensure his state the next day, and a balance of work and rest can more effectively improve his strength. The next day, Chuanye arrived at the ninja school, and as soon as he entered the class, he felt the strange gazes of others. This doubt did not last long. When Ishihara came to the class and saw Kawagoe, he went straight to Kawagoe. "Chuanye, I heard about it, but I didn't expect you to defeat Locke," Ishihara exclaimed in surprise. Sure, Yuenqua only learned about this news when he came to school in the morning to prepare for his homework. At first, I heard that it was yesterday afternoon, and all the outstanding students in the school were inquiring about a student named Chuanye. Ishihara took the initiative to learn about it, and when he found out that Chuanye had actually defeated Locke, Ishihara felt that he had mistaken the person. After careful investigation, Ishihara finally confirmed that Chuanye, who defeated Locke, was actually his student. Cleverly utilizing the three-body technique to achieve such results, among the masses, Chuanye is a student who has practiced the three-body technique for a long time and accumulated knowledge. However, Ishihara was very clear that Kawagoe only successfully refined chakra the night before yesterday, and only learned the three-body technique yesterday morning. If Kawagoe is not a war orphan, not even a prestigious family, as long as his parents and relatives are still alive, then Ishihara would still suspect whether Kawagoe has long refined chakras and learned the three-body technique, just hiding it. Kagawa is a war orphan, and the only learning conditions are ninja schools. If he had succeeded long ago, he would not have concealed it, because only by showing it and showing the value to the village can he value cultivation. Finally, Ishihara remembered the resolute and divine gaze when Kawagoe requested him to teach the three-body technique, and Ishihara no longer had any doubts. At this moment, looking at Kawagoe, who had a calm face, achieved such excellent results, and was not surprised by the likes and dislikes, Ishihara smiled a little. Perhaps this is a genius.